I'm making a book. Yes, it's official, as you might have seen by the community posts. Um, if you're like me, then the idea of making a book is very foreign, as it feels like it's this secret alchemy where someone just births a book into existence. That's why it's been so daunting for me to say that I want to make one, as I had no idea how or where I'd even start. That's why I've been talking to people about this whole bookmaking thing to try and learn more. My idea is that the more prep I do, the less I'll have to redo or fix afterwards, which would be more of a nightmare. There are so many questions that I had. What size of book do I want? What format of file do I need? What program do I need to use? What settings do I need to pick? How many pages? What kind of paper? What cover? What spine? How much bleed do you need? The bleed being the thing that gets cut off around the edges. What are the pros and cons of self-publishing or finding a publisher or buying in bulk or printing on demand? You may notice that most of these questions are about the process of getting a book made more than writing or drawing one, because, well, I can't really draw the book if I don't know what the requirements are, and I would love to explain it to you if I understood it more, but for now I still feel clueless. But I think bringing you along the journey of figuring out how to make a book will be a fun learning experience. I will give updates and tell you about what I'm working on and have maybe figured out. So, one thing that I have figured out is that I want to self-publish the book. Find a printing press that is in Thailand that I can work with, and so that I can be a lot more hands-on with the process, and then make a Kickstarter when the book is done, of course, and then order in bulk and ship it. The part that I heard was the most tedious is the tracking down of addresses and packages not reaching the destination and such, so I will have to make sure to find a good and consistent way to get everybody's addresses and keep them all nice in one place and get it right. If you have any idea on how I can do that, then do tell me. Another thing is that I went back and forth a lot about the size of the book. A4 felt too big, and anything small like A5 or 6 by 9 inches felt too small. But 7 by 10 inches felt just right. Not too big and not too small. I'm also using Affinity Publisher to compose my pages. I have a 0.125 inch bleed around the edge, which seems like the average. Also, I'm going to keep text about half an inch away from the spine of the book so it doesn't get lost in the crack. The way I tried to figure this out is by folding a piece of paper in half with measurements on it and then just mashing it into the seam of one of my sketchbooks that had a similar thickness to what I was picturing my book to have, and just looking at which one felt right. This obviously is not the best way to do it, and things will change with the type of paper, the type of binding, what cover I'm using, and how many pages I will have, so I left some room to adjust, and if you know a better method of doing this, be sure to tell me. Also, on Krita I changed everything to CMYK, which are the colors the printer can print, and I'll have to paint and play around with that palette a lot more to understand what works and what doesn't. I also made an abomination of a test page that I will go print at a shop just to get an idea of how the colors and things look on a printed page, so I can reference it. The size of the font is not accurate, as I scaled it weirdly, but the point is not to have the exact font size I need, but just to know how font sizes look on the size of paper in general, so it's fine. Besides that, I'm planning to make one complete page just to get the feel of the color palette and also just generally finding the vibe I'm going for. For the rest of the book and the process of writing it, I'm brainstorming it like this, breaking down topics I want to cover into smaller categories and things I need to add. I'm focusing on making parts that I'm confident I will cover first. I know I want to thoroughly cover the magic system and document all its intricacies and mysteries, so I decided to break down all the aspects of magic I want to cover. With the book, I think the best idea would be for me to make it all at once, sort of. All the pages sketched together, because then I can focus on the flow of the book. If the pacing of each portion of the book feels right, and if there's anything to add or remove, it's really easy. So if the book's layout, flow, and writing works in the sketch phase, then it will translate well into the refined final product. So there's a lot of sketching and writing and brainstorming ahead of me, and I'll be sure to update you on how it goes. I want to thank all the people that have helped me in this, and the people that gave me advice and explained things to me, and also thank you to all of my patrons for making my insane ideas even more possible to pursue. Take care.